everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child because I read it at the weekend and I really enjoyed it, but I did have some issues with it and I've got quite a lot to say, so I feel like this is going to be quite a long video. So without further ado, let's get started. I will just say that there will be spoilers in this, so if you've not read it and you don't want to be spoiled, definitely go read it first because there will be spoilers and I don't want to be the person to spoil it for you. I absolutely love Albus and Scorpius. Their friendship was just adorable and it was lovely to see that two people who probably weren't meant to be friends because they're a Malfoy and a Potter were really good friends and they were just really sweet. Scorpius was definitely my favourite character though. He was just so adorable and I don't think he should really be a Slytherin even though he's a Malfoy. He's too adorable to be a Slytherin. I think he should be like a Hufflepuff or something because Slytherin just doesn't seem right for his house. What was really nice to see as well was Draco and how he's changed because he is now good friends with, well not good friends, but friends with all of the others like Harry, Ron, Hermione, all of that group of people, Ginny. And when Albus and Scorpius go missing, he works together with Harry to find their sons. And that was just really nice to see because obviously you don't see something like that. You don't see them working together in the Harry Potter series, so it was really nice change to see that in this book. Now Delphi, who was the one who was obviously working with Albus and Scorpius to try and bring Cedric Diggory back to life, was a bit of a strange character and I never really trusted her, and I was right to do so because obviously she turned out evil and ended up being Voldemort's daughter and it all just got a bit crazy. I was like, what is going on? Really confused because you just don't expect that at all. But I was right to not trust her, but she was a really good character. I just obviously expected her kind of not to be quite right. I did love that element though. I love how she turned out evil and she wasn't all good like the other two. It was nice to sort of have that twist in the group. However, I did really want to kill her when she was using the Cruciatus Curse on Scorpius because I love Scorpius. He is now one of my favourite characters ever, and when she was doing that, I wanted to kill her myself. I found Harry's character really strange. Like, he seemed really aggressive and just not Harry, and he just seemed not like this loving, caring person that we see throughout the series. He was just very, like I said before, aggressive and a bit angry. Yeah, he didn't really seem himself, so that kind of annoyed me a little bit. So things I loved about the plot. The first thing I really loved was Albus being a Slytherin, not a Gryffindor. Albus Potter is a Slytherin and that's brilliant. And at the end of Deathly Hallows, he does say at the station, the 19 years later bit, he's saying like how he's worried about being a Slytherin. He's saying, what about if I'm in Slytherin? And Harry says that obviously one of the best headmasters of Hogwarts was a Slytherin and he was named after him. But I never expected him to actually be a Slytherin. I always just thought he was going to be a Gryffindor, so that was quite cool to see. I loved all of the time travel in this book. Obviously the Time Turner is brought back and we get to go back to the Triwizard Tournament, and The Goblet of Fire is my favourite book in the series, so that was fantastic. I loved how most of the story, like the basis of the story was bringing back Cedric Diggory. Like, I never expected that because he's not like a major character, but they've brought him back. Like, they've brought him back into this story. Like, I don't mean back alive, but back into this story, and they're trying to bring him back to life, and it is just brilliant. But it also shows that if you change the past, it can have major effects on the future, and that was really shown in this book. Things got a bit crazy. One of the times they changed the future was Harry was dead, Voldemort was leading, and Umbridge was head of Hogwarts, and everything bad basically you can think of was happening, and this world was just terrible, and it was all just by changing one thing in the past. But I really liked it. I really liked how crazy that was, and it just got a bit insane and it was really intense and I just had to keep reading. I mean, there was even a Voldemort Day. Like, why would there be a Voldemort Day? It's just crazy. But yeah, there was a Voldemort Day in this new world. Also, a lot of the characters that we know and love had completely different personalities in this new future, and they were like quite horrible, including Scorpius. Scorpius was like this really popular kid at school, and people were kind of scared of him, and they would be doing his homework for him. So when he went back into this, like back to the future, kind of back to the future, but you know what I mean. Scorpius got back from the Time Turner, and he's this really popular kid, and he just doesn't understand. He's like, what's going on? This child is doing my homework for me? Like, why are they doing that? Because Scorpius is such a lovely character, but in this future, he really isn't that great. I loved when Albus and Scorpius and Delphi used the Polyjuice potion to sneak into the Ministry of Magic to find the Time Turner that was hidden in there. It was just brilliant. The dialogue in that bit was hilarious. There was some really, really funny moments, and that kind of just brought a whole new element into the dialogue as well. And just the fact that 2 Slytherins ended up being the heroes was nice to see, because usually it is obviously Gryffindor. We see a lot of Gryffindor in the series, and it was just really lovely to see that 2 Slytherins can be the heroes. One thing I did find a little bit strange was when they went into the Ministry of Magic to find the Time Turner, where the Time Turner was hidden. Now for Hermione Granger, it was really obvious. Like, it was hidden in a bookcase. Like, that's a really obvious place for Hermione to hide it. So I just found that Hermione wouldn't hide it that obviously, and I didn't really understand why it was done that way. Also, when the Polyjuice potion was then used for Harry to turn into Voldemort, it was done so quickly. Like, Polyjuice potion takes ages to make, and somehow they just managed to do it, like, straight away. And I was just like, no, that's not right. Like, kind of continuity errors, I suppose. The fact that Voldemort and Bellatrix had a child? What? Like, I can't understand that. Like, I just can't understand. It's just a bit weird for me to get used to. And although she's an evil character, I absolutely love Bellatrix. And it's just not something I would ever expect, to be honest. One thing I would have really liked to see happen, and I think some other people have the same opinions, is to see Albus and Severus get together. Like, it was kind of written all the way through the book, like they were gonna, and then it just didn't happen at all. And it kind of made me think, like, why? I don't understand why. It would have been quite nice to see that LGBTQ community kind of come into it, but it didn't. I found the writing obviously very different because it is a script, but I got used to it really quickly, and that was fine. And the dialogue was actually really funny in a lot of places, and it made me laugh, it made me get emotional, and I think even though there wasn't obviously that descriptive writing, it really still worked a lot. The only thing I would say was kind of strange about the dialogue is I'm pretty sure that Jack Thorne wrote most of this, not J.K. Rowling, so it was kind of like getting used to a Harry Potter story not in her writing, so that was a little bit odd, but I did get used to it and it was absolutely fine. One last thing to end on, I'd love to know how some of this is performed on stage, because it's kind of hard not to see it in like a CGI kind of image. And I do a lot of, well, I don't anymore, but I used to do a lot of stage performances and things, so I kind of know how things work. And I still can't quite get my head around how some of this works on stage, but I'd love to see the play at some point. It's just a nightmare to get tickets. So that is kind of my thoughts on this book. I obviously did have a few issues, but overall I really enjoyed it, and I did give it 4 stars. For yous that have read it, let me know what you thought, and if you've not read it, why not give it a read, and then we can have a discussion about it. That is it for the video today. I hope you've enjoyed it. By all means, leave any comments about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in the description below, as I'd love to know anything you have to say about it, because I've had quite a lot to say about it. And I will see you all in my next video very soon. Bye!